over to my son's house and put a couple of gates up. I've been working on putting a fence around his yard and put a couple of gates up and be done with it today. And so enjoy some of that Florida summer heat today, and but get some of this work done. But I wanted to take some time and today, tomorrow, and Friday, in honor of our country's 250th birthday and celebration about what God has done in America, I want to just zero in on the blessing of America and just steer our thinking towards why has God blessed America? What is it that made America blessable? And there are plenty of things to complain about. There are things for which we should definitely be concerned about. And there are some things that we as Americans are going to have to address. But I want to go back and say, why has God blessed America? And so I want to look at Psalm 33, 11 and 12. It says, "The counsel of the Lord standeth forever, the thoughts of his heart to all generations." God has a plan for how government is supposed to work. God has a design that government does within his broader scope of humanity and what humanity needs at different dispensations. And so when God introduced human government in the dispensational progress through Scripture, we find that there was a specific design, there was a purpose. And we know that Scripture teaches it rewards good and it punishes evil, that it gives an organizational structure to the function of human society. How is it that depraved human beings can function together, live together in a society? And so God is teaching us that there was a specific purpose. The counsels of the Lord standeth forever. You're never going to change the fact that God has a design and that design is right. Every generation is going to struggle through figuring out how life works. They're going to, have advancements in technology. They're going to have advancements in civilization. They're going to have advancements for which they're going to have to manage. And God is the giver of those gracious gifts of advancements. It's not man's own doing. It's God's grace allowing him to learn and to achieve and to grow and to provide. I mean, ultimately, everything we experience is at the good hand of God. And so at some point, if a nation is going to be blessed, they're going to have to embrace what is it that God designed for the nation? How does it function? And that's where our framers and founders are so critical. And I'm so sorry that more Americans do not know the details of the story of how America was birthed, how this republic form of government was established, what God did through those brilliant men who were absolutely dependent upon God for wisdom and direction. In my office as a senior pastor, I had a picture that one of my dear friends purchased for me. And it was our framers and our founders on their face before God, kneeling in a chair or over a desk or on the floor, and just begging God to give direction and wisdom for what kind of government he wanted in America. And then when asked, what kind of government did you come up with? The answer was a republic if you can keep it. In other words, part of God's designs for human beings is personal responsibility. And so woven into this fabric of a republic form of government is God's design for human responsibility. He does give us a choice, and we are going to have to be responsible with that choice. And so the counsels of the Lord, what he designed is going to be that way. And it doesn't matter if you like it, don't like it, but if you don't follow it, you're not going to be blessed. And it is for all generations. So there's never going to be a place where a generation gets smarter than God and comes up with a better design than God has. It's never going to happen. The counsels of the Lord stands forever. And then verse 12, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he hath chosen for his own inheritance. In other words, this is obviously referencing Israel, but Israel's main job was to put the brilliance of God in his plan for redemption on display, that he was going to provide a Messiah through the children of Israel. They were to live distinctly different from the pagan world around them, pointing people to focus on a God who is sovereign and in control, but allows mankind to have freedom to choose and exercise their free will, but must take personal responsibility for it. And so, how did America become blessed? Well, these men got on their face before God and said, what is it you have designed? And how do we take what you make important a part of our government? And so, personal initiative, personal responsibility is woven into the very fabric of a republic form of government, which is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. We are responsible. How do we become blessable again? By quit blaming everyone else, quit trying to change the model and design that God has for government, allow them to stay in their parameters, to stay within their boundaries, and the people take responsibility for what it is we have been given. And so my prayer is that all of us would remember, how was it that America became so blessable? And are we willing to do what is required to make America blessable again? And it's just simply getting on our face before God, humbling ourselves and submitting ourselves to what it is that God has designed rather than what man wants. And so blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, when we let him be the authority and stop trying to make an authority of ourselves. That is how America can once again be blessable. God bless you. Hope you have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.